Welcome to The Wrap. I'm Wang. Joining me in studio today to discuss the Washington Redskins 17-13 loss to the San Francisco 49ers is Scott Allen of the DC Sports Blog. And Scott, certainly the drama in the game paled in comparison to the drama off the field going into this week with all the back and forth between Gruden and Robert Griffin III. The Redskins give up 5 sacks. Griffin does not play great. He gets sacked for the 5th time, fumbles, and the 49ers recover to seal the win. The Redskins lose for a 3rd straight time to drop to 3-8. As we do our takeaways off the top, what did you see out of this game?
Yeah, I think the drama maybe coming into this game was more exciting, maybe in a painful way, than the game itself. Kind of a boring game. We'll get to RG3, obviously, but to start kind of with a positive spin, we sat here last week and blasted Jim Haslett and that defense, the secondary in particular, for an awful performance against Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Today, I mean, they really showed up. They forced 3 turnovers. The Redskins came in with one of the worst turnover differentials in the league. Forced 3 turnovers, held Carlos Hyde and Frank Gore in check. I think 66 total yards rushing for the 49ers all day. And the secondary actually played well despite not having anyone back there. We saw Greg Ducray.
Yeah.
Never heard of the guy before this week.
It really was. They were so shorthanded. You know, David Emerson was not out there. Then Tracy Porter gets hurt, and they have to bring in, like you said, Ducray, and he had a strip there on a long pass. So you have to give Jim Haslett credit for going into San Francisco and being able to put up a game plan against a team that has some former receivers, right? I mean, they weren't able to do it against Tampa Bay. What I saw, though, on the flip side when we moved to the offense was horrible pass protection. Again, we know this has been a problem week after week. They're able to run the ball, but they cannot pass protect really to save their lives and when it matters the most. On that final drive, Robert Griffin gets hit. He had no chance when Justin Smith came in and just bore into him and he fumbled. I mean, most quarterbacks would fumble in that situation. Yeah. Sure, he didn't have the greatest game in the world, but when you have to give him some help as an offensive line. And there were some penalties on the offensive line, too, on top of that. So they're not helping themselves at all.
Right. And Griffin last week stood there in the press conference, and before he said all the other stuff, he said, you know, all those sacks are on me. And I think today he might say the same thing. I mean, it's hard to parse out how much is him holding the ball too long and how much is the offensive line. But that last play of the game that you mentioned that sealed it, I mean, Morgan Moses, tough position making his first start there at left tackle, but he just looked like a turnstile. And Griffin, bottom line, is not getting enough time back there.
Yeah, to me, Griffin was okay today. There were some throws he could have made, but there were some throws that he did make, and there was also that run on 3rd and 10. That's a lot to ask from a quarterback to try to get a first down on 3rd and 10 running it. I mean, he dove to the pylon. I thought he was okay given the circumstances. It's not easy going to San Francisco to play. It's a really tough place. Any NFC West team on the road, it's going to be a difficult proposition, especially after the way they played the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, he may get a lot of blame as a quarterback usually does, but certainly there's a lot to go around. Would you not agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 106 yards passing, no matter how you cut it, he did not play well until the last play, though. For as much as he got hit, not giving away the ball, holding on to it. I mean, that is, I think you got to stick with him going forward.
Well, let's move to the studs and duds, and since it was a loss, let's start out with the dud. And I'm going with Ryan Clark, the safety, for a couple of reasons. A, he had that unnecessary roughness call hit on Anquan Boldin. And if you're going to hit a guy and you're going to get penalized for it, make sure you separate him from the ball. Instead, he was slow to get up. Boldin picks up a couple extra yards. 3 plays later, Carlos Hyde scores on a touchdown, which is a decisive touchdown. And on that play, Ryan Clark misses the tackle. And this is a guy who said, and I wrote this down, in week 5, after a Monday night loss to Seattle, when the media was criticizing Lockman for being too celebratory and too casual, he said, you all have no idea how somebody is supposed to be after a loss. You all have no idea if they can laugh, if that's the right way to handle it. You all have no idea. Well, I have an idea on how a safety is supposed to play, and it's not to have an unnecessary roughness call and miss a tackle on the game-winning touchdown. But there were some positives. What you see at that as far as studs?
Yeah, one in particular, Alfred Morris going over 100 yards for the first time this season, the first time in 18 games. 21 carries, 125 yards. He found the end zone, 6 yards per carry. If anything, I mean, Griffin only had 19 attempts, I think, and you had Alf with 21
carries.
But still, I mean, to get the ball back with 2:59 and call 3 straight passes out of the shotgun, I think you got to give the ball to Morris there. He was, for sure, the Redskins' one main stud today.
It seems like every week this season it's either been Alfred Morris or Deshaun Jackson. That's been the stud.
Or Tress Way.
Or Tress May. No, he was great. He was great again against the 49ers. But yeah, Alfred Morris has been, for my money, the most consistent guy there. And you have to love how he plays, his attitude. Doesn't say anything, just shows up to work every Sunday and delivers. So it doesn't get any easier for the Redskins. They play the Indianapolis Colts on the road next. So we'll have a lot to discuss going forward entering that game.
Absolutely.
But for Scott Allen, I'm Wang. Thanks for watching The Wrap. We'll see you next time.